for? What you doing all of that for, if you don't mind me asking?
I told you it looked like my Friday night plans just washed down the drain.
Well, I mean, did we have that conversation? Did we have that conversation like 2.5 weeks ago? Yes or no?
Hey, stuff. A lot of things can happen in weeks. A lot of people can move in. A lot of people can move out.
Listen, Armstrong. Yeah, you got me. Yeah. You sad boy. I tell you what.
And that's where I was at. Never mind.
Chill. We live. we live. What up? Let me look at your boy. Let me bring him up because I don't want to hear no crying. I already done had to deal with. Oh, see now. I say I already done had to deal with it enough. What's happening? Welcome to Four Panthers Fans Only, the live stream Week 2 game preview versus the LA Chargers. As you see here, joined by my co-host Terrence the God. That's what he used to call himself, but he took that part away. So I don't even try and call him like that no
All
more.
glory to the Most High. I don't know why I ever put that in my name.
That was blasphemous. It was. You're right. I'm glad that you got a realization.
You and Ron hyped that up.
Omar was cracking. Omar already in the building early, letting me know he got one rolled up. Just know when I bring our guests up for tonight, Omar, let's go ahead and light it up, man. We got two very, very, very special guests in the building with us tonight. I'm excited, bro. I'm excited. Week 2. There we go. Let me see if I can fix this.
Too loud. You coming in too hot. You coming in too hot.
Yeah. Calm down, bro. Calm down. Relax. But yes, we have two very special guests with us in the building. We have Colin from Powder Hour podcast, Los Angeles Chargers podcast. Another podcast we have in the building tonight is the Lightning Round podcast. One of the hosts, Jamie, is going to be joining us as well a little bit later on. Jamie is going to be with us for about 15, 20 minutes, and then he has to dip out. So we're going to get him on stage very, very soon. But, you know, it's good energy. Hey, if you watched the podcast this past week, I apologize for my verbiage. I apologize for my attitude. And yeah, so, you know, that's all I wanted to say. Gentlemen, how are y'all feeling? I know it's Friday night. We got a busy week ahead of us.
I'm feeling good, man. I'm chilling this Friday. I mean, not by choice. But I'm chilling this Friday, unfortunately. But yeah, ready to go. Another week, game day Sunday. I don't know how to feel about it.
We lit. What you mean you don't know how to feel about it? I told you, bro. When visitors join, even if we got to put on a facade, we got to put on a facade.
No.
We don't need them seeing us. You know, we don't need them seeing us fighting demons, bro.
Unfortunately, I'm just not like that. Joey Bosa gonna play. We got a lot of people questionable too.
Fair enough. Bloody, what's up? What's happening? If y'all haven't already, make sure to like the video, comment, subscribe, turn the bell notification on. Again, we have two very, very special guests with us in the building. Not sure what's going on with my producer's Wi-Fi or what. I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's happening on his end, but we're going to try and get him consistent. Then as soon as we can get him consistent, we're going to let a couple more people join. 8:40 Eastern time, we'll bring our guests up. Have a little conversation. Let them know. Hey, I know that they think it's going to be easy. Matter of fact, I'll save it. I'll save it because I know they think that it's going to be easy. I know they think they coming into the fold. I know they think they coming into the bank just to, you know, just to let their nuts hang.
That Eternal 252, appreciate that.
Shout out Eternal. What's goody? Good to see you. Cheers to you, brother. Take a shot for me. No drinking for me tonight. We got a big game tomorrow. ECU versus App State. We outside.
Go Pirates.
Sunday we at the bank. We in the bank. And Terrence, we in the bank on Sunday. Very, very, very busy weekend.
You actually decided to go?
I got a ticket for free. I try so hard not to be there, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I did everything in my power not to go.
About to say it took them everything. It took them everything.
I mean, do you blame them?
But
y'all had a whole segment this week on the Pat McAfee show about $1.80 ticket being sold. So
two of them actually. Two of them went for $1.80 total.
Yeah.
So 90 cents a piece.
I don't blame them.
Right?
Dang, your math was good.
Thank you.
It was necessarily a hard question or a hard equation, but proud of you.
Why couldn't you just give me the compliment?
I'm just saying I'm proud of you. I see improvement.
Okay, say less. I'll take it. All right, man. Let's go ahead and bring up our guest for today. Like I mentioned, we have Jamie Hoyle as well as Colin. Jamie is with the Lightning Round podcast. I'm gonna go ahead and bring him up. And we have Colin with us as well from the Powder Hour podcast. Go ahead and bring him up. Make sure everybody good to go. What's happening? What's
up, guys? Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, of course, man.
Thanks for joining.
Yeah, thank you for having me on as well. Excited to talk some ball.
Yes, sir. Let's do it, man. Well, if you guys want to kind of introduce yourselves first, just let people know where they can find you from a social standpoint, DSPs, YouTube, etc. You guys have the floor.
Yeah, so you can find me at Lightning_round on X. I handle all the social media for us on X. We're also on YouTube. So you can get all of our shows on YouTube there, and we have a Discord that we have as well.
Nice. Thank you for joining.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, and with us, it's at Powder Hour Pod LA is our handle on Twitter or X, whatever you refer to it as nowadays, and same as Instagram. So at Powder Hour Pod LA. And that's where you can catch all the latest news updates about the podcast.
Sure, absolutely. Well, welcome again. Thank you guys both for being here. What's the energy? What's the vibe like in the Chargers fan base right now, man? Y'all had a tough game. Y'all had a tough game against the Raiders Sunday. I went back and I watched the All 22. I watched the broadcast. That was a dog fight, man. What's the vibe like in LA right now?
I think that right now the vibe is people are excited. We have a real head coach for the first time in 12 years, maybe more. We have a team that's finally playing tough. Like you said, they had a physical game last weekend. The Raiders punched them in the mouth several times, tried to drag them down and bully them. And the Chargers responded, out-bullied the Raiders to the point that the Raiders had no options left but to pick a fight at the end of the game. So, so for that to happen with the Chargers, I think the Chargers surprised them with how physical they were and how mentally tough they were. And those are reasons for Chargers fans to be excited. It wasn't pretty, but it's a win and it's something they can build on.
For sure.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. I would even also say it just, I mean, at least for myself personally, being a fan my whole life, it just feels new. Like there's new vibes around this team, around the organization. Jim Harbaugh even said, I think back in training camp, they asked him, how does it feel to finally be out in the field? And he said, it feels like being born again, like literally coming out of the womb. It feels that way for fans too, at least for me. It feels completely different than what we've been accustomed to over the last decade or so. And so, yeah, it just feels fresh. It feels new. It feels like new life. And it's a super exciting time to be a fan right now.
Facts. Did you have something to add, Jamie? My apologies.
No, I was just going to say, I think, we're experiencing something that a lot of fans haven't experienced. They got into a dogfight and they didn't charger. They didn't choke the game away. They found a way to finish. And they did it with the running game, which the Chargers aren't known for doing. So a lot of things to be excited about, a lot of things to build on. Like I said earlier, I think this is a team that's going to surprise other teams, especially early in the year, with how much more physically and mentally tough they are. And that's always a recipe for success.
Yeah. That was definitely something that jumped off the screen to me, bro. Like I was honestly, like you said, I'm used to that pretty boy football with the Chargers. In my opinion, that's what I've seen it as when you have guys like or had guys like Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, things like that. They kind of want to spread the football out through the air. That was not the case on Sunday. I was very honestly, I was very surprised with how physical y'all approached that game. I was very, very shocked. But I think that's a direct correlation to Harbaugh, in my opinion. I'll be honest. I really do. So that Sunday will be interesting. How do y'all feel about that? Are y'all just gonna walk in? I'll get y'all's predictions. Don't give me a score prediction right now. But how do y'all feel about Sunday? As y'all know, the Carolina Panthers came out and just I mean, I don't even you said what, Terrence?
Don't sugarcoat it.
I mean, just came out and got blasted. I'll say it that way. The PG version, 47-10 against the New Orleans Saints. So week 2 is easy for y'all, huh?
I mean, it's the Chargers, and it's only been 1 week. So to say that it's going to be easy, I'm still conditioned to expect them to puke all over the field against a team that I feel they should beat. So I'm not ready to say they're going to roll in and steamroll the Panthers. But I do think they do some things really well defensively that are going to give the Panthers and especially Bryce Young a lot of difficulties. And I think it's going to look a lot like last week. I think it's going to be close for most of the game, and then the Chargers will start to wear the Panthers down, and they'll pull away late and probably win by at least 2 scores. But I think it'll take a while to get there because they're still installing their offense. They're still having issues with getting plays in on time and getting lined up and being organized on offense in particular. And I think some of those things are dragging them down right now, and they're still going to be dealing with those things. So they're not a finely oiled machine. They're going to have their issues, but I do think they're going to pull away late.
I don't think I could agree anymore. I think it'll be a very similar game to what we saw last week in the sense of Chargers Raiders. I think Jamie hit the nail on the head. I mean, they're still working out some kinks on the offensive side of the ball. I think they had, what was it, like 4 or maybe 5 false starts or pre-snap penalties in that first half this last week.
Yep.
They were able to obviously clean that up, play a little bit more physical in the second half and take care of business. But I watched probably the first quarter of that Saints Panthers game last week, and there's definitely some physical elements to the Panthers team. So I definitely think this is an easy game for Chargers fans to come into and be like, oh, we got this, which to Jamie's point, I don't think there's a lot of fans saying that just because of what we've been accustomed to over the last few years. It's different. We have Harbaugh. It's a different vibe, but I think this is going to be a good physical, close game. I really think it'll be similar to the vibe that we saw last week.
To be honest, I actually disagree with that. I don't think it's going to be similar to what you saw last week because when I was watching watched back the Raiders Chargers game film, what I immediately noticed was how physical the game was in the trenches, especially early on. I mean, it was very nasty and scrappy like the whole way through, pretty much until about like the fourth quarter, I would say. But it was just a knockdown dogfight because that's kind of the attitude of that Raiders team with Pierce as the head coach, and you got Max Crosby, and now with the addition of Christian Wilkins, like that's kind of what they embody. Had they had a little bit of better quarterback play out of Gardner Minshew, I think they had an opportunity, at least, especially early on, to kind of get on to you guys. But he throws that miscommunication between him and Devontae Adams on that smoke screen where Gardner just dirt fumbled the ball. I don't even know what you call it. I think they blew a chance right there to get on to you guys early. But I don't think the Panthers can match the physicality that the Raiders had. I think the Panthers have a better offensive line than the Raiders do. But I do think, having Khalil Mack on one end and Joey Bosa coming off the other side is a hell of a challenge for any offensive line group in the league. And, more so for a team like the Carolina Panthers who are really going to struggle on the defensive end now being down to Derek Brown. For the season, arguably, well, not even arguably, the best defensive lineman that this team had, and now you have a bunch of unknowns in that front to go against the Chargers offensive line, which is improved with the addition of Joe Alt. Is Rashawn Slater back?
Yeah,
I
he's
believe
back.
he is. Yeah, with Rashawn Slater, back in the fold, and then behind John Harbaugh's scheme, it's going to be a long day for the Carolina Panthers. I'll be honest.
I agree to some extent. I do think the Chargers is a very physical football team, but I do think the Raiders did find some success running the ball in the inside as well, and I think that they have Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa on the edge, and I know that's going to give us problems. But I also think that Dave Canales has done a great job in the offseason, throughout the season, of designing this offense to where necessarily we do a lot of play actions, and it gives Bryce room to step up in the pocket and maneuver inside of the pocket. A lot of our designed pass plays is the offensive lineman kind of pushing those ends out. And so that's where I've seen the Raiders find a lot of success as well. I think if you can kind of get Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa to kind of live on the outside, and we can kind of work the inside, then we can find success there. But the thing I like about the Chargers defense, they fly around every position group. Like, I've seen a lot of corners coming up, hitting, playing nasty physical football. And, I mean,
especially Asante Samuel.
Yeah, he was coming down sliding. And I think Bryce has to get the ball out quick. This can't be a game like last week to where he's back there jittery, shaking, patting the ball. No, you got to get the ball out quick. But I think that, there's still room for success to be had against the Chargers defense. But I just don't think it's going to come that easy. It's going to have to be something you work for sure.
I'm very worried about that pairing of Khalil Mack over top of Ick for most of the game, because Khalil Mack predominantly was lined up over the left tackle from what I saw, and I'm kind of nervous about that.
Yeah, I mean, you look at what Ick did last week against Chase Young. I believe he allowed 6 pressures, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, that has me shook a little bit. Something else that has me shook. Y'all are mentioning Bosa and Mack, but I'm a D tackle. Puna Ford. Y'all tell me the story of Puna Ford, because my God, I'll be honest with you. I'm a huge football fan. I watch a lot of tape. I watch a lot of teams, etc. Never heard of Puna Ford. Had no idea who Puna Ford was. But when I turned on that all 22, boy, just complete domination. Plays with a huge motor. I mean, the Raiders struggle a little bit on the first half. Second half, I could kind of see Puna slowing down just a little bit towards the back half of the third quarter and into the fourth. But the first 2 quarters, bro, Puna Ford put on a show. Tell me a little bit about him, because, like I said, this is my first time even knowing who the guy is. But I would love to hear you guys' perspective just on his story, I guess you could say, or his road to where he is now.
So Ford's a guy who I think came out of Texas and was drafted by Seattle, if I'm not mistaken. Played with them for a little while and then went to Buffalo, and he kept getting moved around the defensive line. He played some defensive tackle, played 1, played 3 technique, played a lot of 5 technique. He's been playing end more than inside leading up to this year, but the Chargers brought him in to be their nose. And he's a guy that I think they're looking at a potential comp pick with next year. They signed him to a 1-year deal, and it was just kind of a, hey, come on in and prove you can play. And you're right, JJ. He took that game over.
Yes.
He was amazing. He had the tip pass at the end of the game that set up the turnover, the interception that iced the Raiders' final drive. He was not just disruptive in the running game in terms of taking on double teams and pushing guys around. He was penetrating, getting into gaps. He made a couple hustle plays, scraping up and down the line of scrimmage to stuff short yardage runs. He was, you guys are focused on Joey and Mack, and I get it, but Ford was the linchpin of that defense.
Yes,
if you don't have him doing what he's doing inside, the edges don't have the time they have.
Yep.
So he's the one that made things possible inside for Bosa and Mack in a lot of ways and set them up to make plays in the running game and the passing game. And I think also what I noticed watching the Panthers game from last weekend was the Panthers had a hell of a time defending slot blitzes. And Jesse Minter, the Chargers' new defensive coordinator, that's his bread and butter. He third and long, he's bringing slot blitzes all day long. Second and long, third and long. They're coming through the A gap. They're coming through the B gap. They're coming off the edge. He might bring 2 slot blitzes at the same time. You've got Derwin blitzing. He's going to be bringing safeties, corners, slots. It's going to be a long day, and that I think they're going to pressure Bryce Young, but it may not be from the edges. I think what you're going to see is the edges setting the edges and trying to contain Young, push the pocket inside, and get those slot guys to come up the field and make the plays. Because what I saw is Young really deer in headlights with those slot blitzes, pulling down, ducking, taking hits, having a hard time avoiding them. Mitcher's going to see that on tape, and he's going to come hard. That is his thing. So that's what I would look out for in terms of pressuring and affecting Bryce Young.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like Bryce's head is about to be spinning.
Yeah, I was about to say he looked like a little baby, huh, Jeremy? You can say it. Hey, we're unfiltered, bro. We're gonna try to keep it PG today, but he looked like a little baby. He looked like a hoe. It's okay. You can say it. You can say it. Be honest. When you like you said, I mean, there's no way that outside guy, perimeter guy should have three sacks to me without there being an adjustment. And if you're telling me that that's kind of the approach to you all's defense this year with the new DC, that makes me very worried. That makes me very nervous.
Yeah, they blitz a lot on in obvious passing situations. They'll blitz on running downs too. They're bringing those slot guys. They're bringing the linebackers. That's what they're all about on this defense. They're going to be aggressive, and they're going to do it until you give them a reason not to. So yeah, that's the thing. And I think the idea is to pin him in the pocket, make him hold the ball, make him read the field. Don't let him get outside the tackles where he can see the field better because he's a little smaller. And I was surprised. I think you want to make him throw on the run. I don't think you want him necessarily with his feet set. I don't think his arm strength is good enough when he's on the move to throw the ball accurately down the field.
And the ironic part about that is that's what we were sold on being one of his strengths coming out of college. And don't get me wrong, I've seen him make some big time throws on this level on the run, but Sunday it didn't look good. I'm not sure if you guys had a chance to watch the quarterback school. They released a video and a kind of just an overview of what they saw on the tape. What's my man's name that does the quarterback school? I can't remember, but like you said, on the
Kurt
run.
Warner?
Say it again.
Was it Kurt Warner?
No. The guy that, yes. He broke it down, bro. And Sunday, like you said, on the run, Bryce Young he didn't look good. It wasn't just on the run. It was almost every single drop back, every single play. Like it looked sloppy. It looked very, very unconfident. It looked scared, like my co-host mentioned a second ago. It gives me some cause for pause, man. I'm nervous. I'm confident, but I'm nervous, if that makes sense, because y'all's defense jumped out to me. And we have $150 million between our two guards. They are going to be tested this week. They're going to be tested this week for sure.
Yeah, just one thing I noticed too as well, that made me kind of go back and be like, oh, okay, well maybe they're right. Maybe our defensive line might eat. One thing that stood out to me immediately was just the injury report and the fact that there's, I think you guys have both your tackles and a guard on there, so
yep,
that could definitely play a major factor. And I don't know the story on those guys, so but that's just something that I noticed. And I mean, it's already an issue, I think, for you guys, but that's something that could go bad very, very fast.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think that if we don't get sped up early on in the game, like last week, to where we turn the ball over early on in the game, I think that it will be a competitive game. And I think that this is going to be the game. If that can happen, if we can control the pace of the game, if we can take care of the football, I think that the playbook is really going to be able to open up. So honestly, this is like the first game that we will be able to see our playbook to like full fruition, because it wasn't there last game. Because once you turn the ball over early, you got to start doing stuff that is not really what you came into the game wanting to do. Coaches typically have 15 to 20 plays that they hammer in. Those are the plays that they're going to go to throughout the game. But once you start down 17-0, it's kind of hard to get into rhythm with those plays. So we didn't really get to see our run game like that. So I'm interested to see that as well.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I was actually because Colin, you brought up the injury report. I'm looking at it right now. Um like you said, it's already for the Carolina Panthers. We have some question marks, man. Damian Lewis he's been a limited participant throughout the week, all 3 days of practice, Wednesday through Friday. Questionable designation. Um, Taylor Moton, he had some back and knee issues. Now he did have a vet day on Thursday, but then he came back as a limited participant on Friday on today. Um, who else? There was one more. Obviously, Josh Nyman, but he's not really getting much run anyway. Been a limited participant, so there's already some nicks and bruises. And then I believe Robert Hunt was up here as well. Yes, with the shoulder, limited participant. So already, man, already it's such a. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Um, you guys have any insight on Joey Bosa? I'm looking at you guys right now, and I see that two DMPs for him to end the week with a questionable tag. What's up with that?
Um, he's dealing with a bit of a back injury right now. He tweaked his back towards the end of the Raiders game and has just been tight all week and hasn't practiced much. With him being questionable, that kind of suggests he will probably play on some level. My guess is he's probably more of a situational rusher, so they can use him to get after the quarterback in obvious passing downs. I don't think he'll play the majority of the snaps like he did last week, but they'll probably use him strategically to try to help him stay loose and not overdo it a little bit. So they've got him next week.
I still seen like even when Joey Bosa and Khalil Mack were off the field, like whoever the Chargers backups are, they still were able to come into the game and wreak havoc.
Sliding.
Yeah, so it was like it was kind of interchangeable. So I like the way Jim did that, like still finding guys who can come on the field and wreak havoc without the two main guys on defense. But I mean, I also still don't like the Chargers' offensive weapons on the outside. So I think they're dog shit, if I'm being completely honest. I like Lad McConkey. I think Lad McConkey has a lot of potential, and he's going to be good down the road. But he is a rookie, and so even though the way our corners are, we're kind of like shaky in that area. I do think J.C. Horn and Mike Jackson. This should be big games for both of them. I mean, they shouldn't let Quentin Johnson and Lad McConkey give us a lot of pressure down the field or a lot of trouble down the field.
And going back to Bosa real quick, that's a position group that the Chargers have definitely invested in over the last 2 seasons. And, I think it's probably pretty safe to say it's the deepest, if not one of the deepest position group on the entire roster. Because you're looking at guys like Tuli Pelotu, a second-year guy out of USC, very successful rookie year. They go and get a proven vet in Bud Dupree. So those are 2 guys right there. Even worst case scenario, if Bosa weren't able to go, I think that position group is going to get a lot of love. I think those younger guys, Tuli specifically, is going to get some opportunities this year to take another step forward. And it's a deep group, and I think it's really given a lot of Chargers fans like a kind of like just a relaxing breath when it comes to that, that position group and just the defensive line in general.
Yeah, because Bosa has a bit of an injury history, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's got more than a bit of an injury history. He's hurt every year.
That's like an every year thing. Jamie, I know you have to run, man. Before you head out, what's your score prediction for Sunday? You said 2 scores for the Chargers. Let me hear it.
Yeah, I think it's close for most of the game, and I think the Chargers pull away late. I think they're going to do it the way they did it last week with the running game, just wearing the Panthers down inside and turning 3 and 4 yard gains into 7, 8, 9, 10 yard gains. So I think that the final. I mean, last week that game was a missed tackle away from being and a drop pass from being 30-3. So that game was very close to being just a massacre, as close as it was. I think this week you're probably looking at, I'm going to say 27-9. I think it'll be low scoring. I think it'll be like a 16-9 kind of a game. And then the Chargers will score a couple late as they wear the Panthers down and put the game away in the fourth quarter.
So no touchdown for Carolina.
I don't think so.
Oof.
Hey, touchdown and a safety. Thanks.
Yeah, I mean that's true.
Or it
Man,
could be a touchdown and a missed kick and a field goal.
There you
true.
go.
And our kicker is known for missing some shit. I ain't gonna lie. So that wouldn't be off brand. That would not be off brand.
He's
For
been
sure.
consistent.
For sure. Well, Jamie, look, man, I'm gonna let you run. Thank you so much for joining us. Safe travels. I'll shoot you a text a little bit later on. But again, thank you so much for joining, man. I appreciate you.
Yeah,
up,
thank
brother.
you for having me on. Bolt up. It was a lot of fun. I appreciate it. Really enjoyed it. And if you can, send me a link. We'll put it up on our socials and get it out there for people to see.
Okay, cool. We'll do. I'll get that shot to you as soon as it goes live.
All right. Thank you so much, guys. Have a good night.
Yep.
Thank you. You too.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Is that a club tail?
You said
What's
what?
up?
That's a club tail.
What, you talking about one of these?
Yeah.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Oh,
Yes, sir.
yeah. Mm-hmm. I know about them.
It's
I
Friday
know
night.
about them.
He
Yeah,
gets
those are dangerous. That's
Yeah,
a dangerous game to be playing.
Facts. So, Colin, talk to me a little bit about you guys' run game, man. I know J.K. Dobbins, he had the one big run. Gus Edwards kind of struggled a little bit to get involved. Talk to me a little bit about that. Let me see. I know that.
He had 2 big runs.
Yeah.
Well, he had two big runs. The
One
longest
for
went for
61.
61. And then Gus Edwards had 11 carries for 26 yards. Is that an aspect of you guys' offense that you're confident in? Just because for me personally, when I was looking at the film, it seemed like it took a very long time to get that aspect kind of going, I guess you could say. And then, like Terrence mentioned a little bit earlier, with the lack of weapons on the outside, I mean, even if we could talk about this week, but just kind of going on in the season, how confident are you in you guys' run game? Because I know Harbaugh wants to establish that.
I think that's a great question. More confident now after week 1. I think there were still some question marks going into last week. Completely overhauling the run game this offseason, obviously going and getting Gus Edwards, J.K. Dobbins. Obviously, you get Greg Roman and kind of reunite that band together. And, I think what we'll end up seeing over the course of a season, I would think would be a pretty good split between the two. I think they brought both those guys in to really kind of have a committee at running back, and they there's a young rookie that they really like in Kamani Vidal out of Troy, who they drafted with a mid-round pick this year. So, and if you look at the box score from last week, I think both guys, it was pretty even. I want to say they both got about 10, 11 carries between Dobbins and Edwards, and Dobbins was just able to kind of rip off a couple big ones, and I think that was the biggest difference in the box score at the end of the day. But more and more, I'm more confident 100% after this last week. We knew that was going to be part of this offense. It was going to be a big identity. You bring in Harbaugh, you bring in Greg Roman. The run game is going to be a massive part of that offense. So, like Jamie was saying, I think they're still figuring it out offensively. I think the run game was a positive sign last week, but it took away from the passing game a little bit. So there's definitely a balance there that they need to, I think, figure out a little bit, and they will. I think with more weeks passing by, and but ultimately, I think this running game is in a great spot. I think J.K. Dobbins is the lead back for now. We'll see how that unfolds throughout the season, but it's definitely a huge breath of fresh air coming off of the Staley years, where we were promised strong run games every year, and it was not the case. So, off to a good start.
You can talk part of that up to Eckler and his injury history.
Yes, yeah. Eckler, wish him well. He's in Washington now, and he was a different kind of back, right? Had they had more of a committee there during his time there, if they had a Dobbins and an Edwards and then an Eckler, I think you could really, that's a completely different dynamic that they could have.
Cut off.
Did we lose him?
Oh, we might have. What it looks like.
Okay.
Oh, did you lose me?
Oh
yeah, I lost you. You're back though. You're back.
Oh, sorry about that. No, I was just saying. No, it's a new era of Chargers football where the run game is going to be a major force, and I think that's a beautiful thing, and it's also a very new thing for a lot of fans. We're not really sure how to react.
Yeah, I also think, I mean, that's where they can find a lot of success against us this week, just because with the loss of Derrick Brown, we already seen how pedestrian that defensive line looked this past week, if we're all being honest. Jadeveon Clowney didn't do shit. I mean, DJ Johnson, we know he's sorry as hell. Sean Tuttle didn't do anything. Derrick Brown really didn't do shit either. But
can we shoot him some bail because he was hurt, bro? We don't know when he tore his shit.
Yeah, we don't know when
relax, bro.
Yeah, we don't know when he got hurt, but if I gotta look at the stat sheet and just look at the play overall, he didn't do shit. Call a spade a spade. It is what it is. And so without Derrick Brown, it can get very nasty up front. I should say that. But I mean, we can also capitalize off of that too, because we know, like I said earlier, I think their weapons on the outside are not good. So that could have a big opportunity to stack the box. Obviously, you're going to be leaving JC and Mike Jackson on the island. But, I mean, that could have to be something we live with going against Quentin Johnson and Ladd McConkey. So, I don't know. This is going to be a big game for the linebackers. I need to see Trevor Walker.
Yeah, it'll be a fun game also to watch just because, I think looking at our injury report right now, Josh Palmer, who is arguably, with DJ Chark being on the IR right now, he is our wide receiver one.
Yep.
And so he's questionable. You slide the next guy down. It's a great opportunity for some of these young receivers in this receiving room to really, stand out, make a name for themselves, carve out a bigger role for themselves. But, it's everyone. I mean, it's no secret. The wide receiver room this year, losing Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, it's a big question mark. DJ Chark, brought him in to hopefully fill that void a little bit, and then he ends up on the IR to start the year. So I don't disagree with you. I think that'll be a great matchup on the outside for some of those younger guys. Ladd McConkey, flashed last week versus the Raiders, had a very nice touchdown towards the end of the game to really kind of put it on ice. So that is one matchup I'm really looking forward to and excited, just because there are still plenty of question marks for that position group.
Yeah, I didn't know y'all had Hayden Hurst too.
Yeah.
Man, fuck Hayden Hurst.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like Hayden Hurst either, but I just happened to see him on the stat sheet. I didn't know that's
the way he did us last year. I couldn't give a fuck about him.
Yeah, I didn't know.
I hope we slide. I hope somebody slide behind that. Tell us stand on business. We need that get back for sure. For sure. I think we might have some breaking news within the G2S network. If you're familiar with the YouTube channel, Tavius Burner has, reemerged over the past couple of weeks. And I think Tavius Burner might just have slipped up just a second ago, because somebody asked if Tavian was white or light-skinned, and Tavius Burner replied with, "I'm light-skinned." So I don't know if I'm supposed to believe Tavian has been running Tavius Burner this whole time, or
now that's on me. For
You
anybody who
were
was
just
wondering,
you were just off camera like this, bro.
I was dicking with a wine bottle. I've been trying to open a wine bottle, but my bad.
Hey,
I think if it's not him, it's somebody very close to him.
Very, very, very,
and
very close.
I almost feel like he know who it is, and it kind of pisses me off that he acts like he doesn't. Like, honestly.
Yeah.
All right.
Facts. I'm gonna go through the chat a little bit. Let me see. Yeah, they call Tavian white. No, he's not white. He's a mutt. He's a mixed breed. He's yellow.
Here we go.
Let me see. Dylan said JJ good at money math. Nah, for sure. I'm good at math overall, but it makes life a lot easier when we talk money, because you know how I feel about that for sure.
Y'all just be glad I can't see the chat right now.
T Green, shout out T Green. T Green, what's happening? T Green said bounce back game 24-21 Panthers. Okay.
I don't agree with that.
I was about to say we'll give our predictions at the end of the show, but I don't know. I don't know, brother. I don't know if this defense can only hold this rushing attack to 21 points. I don't know if that has the ability to happen. I really don't. Bloody said if Chargers tackles are going to be a problem, Joe Alt is a beast, and Slater is also really good. Facts. They honestly did a pretty good job against Crosby the other day too. So, and we don't have a Crosby, unfortunately. With all due respect to Davion, with as little respect as possible to DJ Johnson, we don't have a Max Crosby, unfortunately. So that is going to be a challenge for sure. Let me see. DB Icky. Shout out to the G2S network. Eric Sanchez, shout out to you. What's happening? Make sure if you haven't already and you're still watching, like, comment, subscribe. If you're on YouTube, turn that bell notification on. If you're watching live on X or Twitch right now, make sure to follow us. Turn the bell notification on. Stay up to date with what we have going on a day-to-day basis. Like I mentioned before, me and Terrence will be in the building on Sunday afternoon. We will be outside. If you see us, say what's up, tap in. I'm going to be with a Falcons fan. I don't know if he's going to be wearing his Falcons gear, but if I'm with a Falcons fan, just give him a break. Actually, no, don't give him a break, because they wasn't giving me breaks pretty much for my whole life. And they were on my top when I was 11, 12. So, yeah, if you see us with a Falcons fan, he got his Falcons gear on. Let him have the business. But if you see us, say what's up for sure. Bloody said, I saw him off camera and I thought it was him too. Hey, Bloody, that's what I'm saying, twin. That's what I'm saying, bro. It's real suspect, bro. It's real suspect, bro. Tavian did have his hands off camera for a while. The replies were coming in the chat. It's really, really suspect, bro. It's really. I don't know if we just cracked the code.
So do I need to do everything on camera from now on? Y'all want to see me get lit on camera?
No, I'm just saying, you got the ability to drink whatever you want on camera, but we just saying, bro, it looks suspect. What you want me to do?
Well, it looks suspect. I'll leave my hands right here for all y'all to see. Don't even worry about it. Because the same thing that I was doing right over here, I do it right here now.
Yeah, because that was, actually, you do need to do that, because that was very questionable and very suspect. Well, and we're gonna look at you weird. Us as the G2S network, as well as the G2S network subscribers, are gonna look at you weird if we find out that you have been Tavian's burner the whole time.
Yeah, that's something very weird to do, honestly, bro.
I know.
That makes me question your character. If that's
I know y'all like being on my top about everything, but why y'all hating? Because I got fans and y'all don't.
It's just weird, bro. It's just
what happens. It's just what happens.
Yeah, see, Dylan, that's what I know. Okay, got you, Colin. Where do you guys finish in your division? No, it's a tough division. I don't believe that Chargers fans are delusional enough to think that you guys win a divisional title this year. But are you guys thinking playoffs right now?
Yeah. I mean, look, I think to the outside fan, to the outside person that maybe doesn't follow this team, I could totally see how this team is not on a lot of people's radars as far as playoffs, Super Bowl contender, what have you. And I get Colin. It. I totally get it.
Let's go slow, buddy. Go slow. I don't know why you said Super Bowl contender. Go slow, Colin. Be careful.
I will say this. I picked this team to win 13 games this year. Call it bias, call it whatever you want.
You sound
I'm calling it the Harbaugh effect. I'm calling it the Harbaugh effect. All right. 13-3, year one in San Francisco when he inherited a 6-10 team. Best quarterback he's ever had to start a job anywhere, college or professionally. And I think last week was the perfect game to show your fans, showcase week one. Like, hey, this is a different team. We've been sold that line before over the past 5-6 years, whether it was Staley, Anthony Lynn, Mike McCoy. We've been sold those lines with these different regimes that we've had. It's not even a sales job with Harbaugh. You already know what you're getting. I mean, the proof is in the pudding. Go look at anywhere he's been. And I think just that alone has gotten a lot of fans, especially over this last week. I think a lot of fans just needed to see this team perform, see him get that first win out of the way. I definitely think the noise is, at least amongst Chargers fans. The noise is starting to pick up as far as playoffs. Week 1, people are going to overreact for the right or wrong reasons. But yeah, I mean, I this is a playoff team. They were a playoff team last year. I mean, they were coming off the playoffs going into last season, and last season blew up on them in multiple ways. Herbert went down. It was what it was. But this year, yeah, I think the playoffs should be on every Chargers fan's mind. Anything beyond that, I'm willing to pump the brakes with you for this year. But I would love to see. I would love to see him get in, and I would love to see at least Herbert get that first playoff victory under his belt, and then we can go from there.
Taven, you don't got to shake that cheap ass wine up. It ain't gonna make it. But I do got a question for you, Colin.
This might be more than rent.
Yeah, right. If it was, you wouldn't be drinking. But
I ain't pay for it.
I know that coming into the season, there was a lot of talk about Justin Herbert nursing a foot injury. How have you seen that? Like, have you seen any effects of that so far? I didn't really notice it that much on film.
Me
but
either.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, how have you seen that affect his game at all, or if any?
That's good. That's gonna be a tough one to monitor. We talked about that on our podcast throughout the past couple of weeks. Plantar fasciitis, plantar fascia for a lot of people that have never had that injury or maybe unfamiliar with it. I'm not a doctor, clearly, but from what my own experience with some of those foot injuries, arch injuries, it's basically a sore arch, right? That whatever ligament is in that foot or in that arch, it's sore, it's strained or whatever. There's something there that's making it flare up, and so they shut him down for 2 weeks. They put him in a walking boot leading up to week 1. He got out of the boot, I think, with about a week to go before the opener, and they've listed him on at least last week they put him on the injury report, and now I think he's off, if I'm not mistaken. But he said he's 100%. I'll take his word on that, but I know deep down it's probably going to be a sore arch that he battles for the entire season, whether or not he makes it, it's a public deal or whatever. But I think behind closed doors, it's going to be something that could linger throughout most of the year. But with his toughness, it's not too much of a concern.
Yeah, I agree. I also dealt with some ligament damage in my foot too when I was in high school, and honestly, it heals better when you do take that significant time off. But I dealt with the same thing during football season, so realistically, you're only able to take like a week off if you want to play. Not even that. So if you do come back and don't get that proper rest, it is something that can linger throughout the season. But obviously, I mean, these guys have way better treatment than we did. So I'm pretty sure that he has some kind of relief to it. But I didn't really see it affect him that much. So I don't know.
Either. I didn't see. I personally didn't see it either when I watched the film. I actually was kind of surprised because this was something that they talked about potentially landing him out for the first 2, 3, maybe even 4 weeks of the season. IR was a consideration. So for me personally, I actually was kind of surprised that I didn't see any effects. But I mean, that's good for y'all. That's good for y'all. That's great for y'all in the playoff hopes that you just mentioned for sure.
And blowing smoke.
Well, yeah, they're gonna need. I mean, if the playoffs are even in the sites this year, it has to. He has to be on the field. So, we'll see. I mean, I think. Look, I think he'll probably deal with it for most of the year, and it'll just be we might not ever know type thing.
Sure.
Yeah, I think Harbaugh's scheme does a lot to protect him too, in the sense of Harbaugh loves running the ball.
Yep.
So you're going to kind of keep him out of danger a lot more. Because one thing that definitely jumped out when I was running it back, I felt like I was watching Michigan from last year, and the sense of the play calling and the play style and everything. It felt like everything that Harbaugh had preached and brought into Michigan, he has now brought to the Chargers. And I think that's gonna help Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert doesn't have to be Superman anymore. Like he doesn't have to, everything is not on his shoulders the way that Brandon Staley tried to make it. It's a team game. It's more of a team game now. That's what Harbaugh's brought, I think. It's like night and day too. It's crazy.
1,000%. Me and my co-hosts were talking last week after the game, and one of the things that I think a lot of fans got so excited about, and now it's the week one overreactions, right? It happens every year. But the fans within our fan base, I think, just saw that game against the Raiders, and they're like, holy shit, we're not only can we win these, we're going to win these close games. Like under Harbaugh, these grinded out fourth quarter back and forth battles. I mean, what we've been known for, just blowing leads late or finding a way to lose in years past. I mean, I think a lot of fans, like the light bulb went off for them last Sunday, and they were like, holy cow, we can be physical. We can run out the clock in the fourth quarter to ice a game. It feels different. And if that's the only thing that changes from last year to this year, I mean, that's 5 more wins on their schedule, at least.
Sure. Well, I'm going to jump into a couple of Panthers injuries. We kind of hinted at some of them a little bit earlier, but there are a couple more that are going to give me a little bit more cause for pause. Josie Jewell is on that injury report as well. He's been limited for the last 2 days of practice, but I will say that gives Trevin Wallace an opportunity to get on the field. And if you watch FPFO this past week, y'all know how I felt about that. If everybody else was going to get abused defensively, you should have thrown your rookie out there, throw him into the fire, and let him get abused if that should happen. So,
Jewel didn't even do shit anyway.
No, he didn't. He didn't at all. So I'm definitely intrigued to see if we work him in a little bit more on the defensive side of the football, because he's a guy that, if you guys are familiar with the podcast, if you guys were watching Move the Chains, etc., he's a guy that I said potentially had the ability to have the biggest impact within this rookie class for the Carolina Panthers, just based off his health, based off of what I've seen in preseason and training camp, etc. So, yeah, if Josie Jewell is down this week, or if he's on a limited rep count, whatever the case is, I need to see 56 touch that field on Sunday. I need to see it, bro. I need to see it. Like, we don't have time to baby coddle. It's the same thing that you guys have been seeing and saying on X about Bryce Young. The coddling period is over with. So all of this soft, it's gonna be okay. No, bro. That shit is a wrap. It's a wrap, and that's applicable for the entire team, in my opinion. It really, really is. Tommy Tremble, obviously, we know he's been dealing with that hamstring injury. He was out last week against the New Orleans Saints. Limited participation from him, all 3 practices this week. Damian Lewis is another guy, like we talked about. Damian Lewis and Robert Hunt both logging 3 limited participations this week at practice. I'm going to go ahead and tell y'all right now, we do not need to see those guys being determined to be out come Sunday. It's going to be I'm telling y'all right now, if Damian Lewis and or Robert Hunt do not play, it's going to be a bad day, bro, because those D tackles for the Chargers, they different, bro. They're different. Puna 4, I'm telling you, the way he jumped off the film to me when I was watching the All 22, watch the broadcast, he's a demon. He's one of them ones.
Well, we also know you have a tendency to get gassed up on, one game or so, a la Notre Dame, having the national championship claim after week 1. So, let's not. Puna Ford is a reason that he's a journeyman in the NFL. He might have had it's very possible that he had a solid game against the Raiders, but that doesn't mean it's necessarily going to translate.
Not solid.
Puna Ford, because I do remember Puna Ford at Seattle, and he was a good D tackle with Seattle, but again, there's a reason that he was available.
Well, maybe he found his fit.
Undrafted guy too.
Yeah, see, Every context is important. Thank you, Colin. I try and tell Tavian that all the time, but they just jump at the opportunity to shit on me. Thank you. Undrafted guy doing what he did Sunday against the Raiders, bro. Trust me. Go back and watch the film. Just watch the first half.
I'm just putting it into perspective so our fans know to not be too like, and so Collins fans know to not be too gassed up on Puna Ford because JJ
Panthers
said this guy is
like, who
somebody.
is this prime Warren Sapp out here that
If that's the case, we need to be putting in a trade for him if he's gonna be looking like that.
Well, shit, we gonna see. Cause if Robert Hunt and Bro is down, Damian Lewis, if they're both down, you gonna see them. You gonna see them. All you gonna hear is Puna Ford tackle for 1 yard gain. Puna Ford deflection. You gonna see. You gonna see. Let one of them two be out. He gonna put on a show for shit show. Let me see. Anybody else that's gonna give me cause for pause? No. Raheem Blackshear was out this week.
Mud.
For personal, be respectful, bro.
He's mud, bro. He's mud. Stop. You talking about coddling and babying. This is the main motherfucker you like to coddle and baby. He's sorry, bro. He's sorry. A waste of a roster spot. Like honestly, he doesn't do anything.
Has JC made his annual appearance yet?
No, absolutely not.
No?
I wish I had our soundboard so I could give JC a round of applause. JC Horn is still 100% healthy, has not popped up on the injury report. I don't know if that's going to last, but I'm excited right now that it is. Colin, I'm going to go through this list. We'll talk about a couple more things, but I need you to have your Chargers fandom hat on. You can opt out, but I want to give you like 4 Chargers trivia questions. So be ready. Be ready.
Okay,
Don't use AI. Don't use Google. We need to see, and don't feel bad either, bro, because we went on a podcast in April, I believe it was, a couple weeks before the draft, and we did Panthers trivia, and we didn't do the best.
We got slaughtered.
We didn't do the best, so we won't judge you, good or bad. We won't judge you.
I'm down for this. I'm excited. Bring it on, man.
Sure, bet. Jadeveon Clowney, also DNP limited and then full participant. He has no designation going into the game. Again, Damian Lewis questionable, Tommy Tremble questionable, Raheem Blackshear questionable, Taylor Moton questionable. Taylor Moton, I know you just hit your 100th consecutive game started. No, matter of fact, he probably won't even hear it, so I don't even need to give him a message. We're blocked.
Yeah,
we're blocked. I forgot about that.
Bro, every time I try to click on his name from the Panthers Twitter, they don't even let me click on that shit. I guess he did my profile. I don't know what he did, bro.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit of Panthers, man. Taven and Terrence. Obviously, we know the type episode we had on Monday. Obviously, as do our fans. They were very tickled by the theatrics, I guess you could say, which weren't really theatrics. It all was 100% true and genuine. What are you guys expecting from this Carolina Panthers football team after 47-10? Where are you at?
Personally,
actually, don't answer that question. My apologies. My bad. What are you guys expecting after?
Tavian, where he at?
Yeah, I was asking Tavian because just to fuck with him, but it's okay. Yeah, so we know the performance that we had week 1. We understand dominated at the point of attack on the defensive line. We understand how pedestrian and not even pedestrian, how dog shit really Bryce Young looked on Sunday against the Saints. What are you guys expecting? How are we feeling? What are the vibes? Because as y'all can see, my energy is back up. I feel like we come back home, we come back to the bank, and we wake niggas up. Because I understand that everybody's in their feelings and emotional, as was I get it. But how do you guys feel about the situation on Sunday?
I almost feel like we're gonna go back in to record Monday, and it's gonna be the same, not the same vibe, because I'm not even gonna allow myself to get to that point anymore. But it's gonna damn near be the same result. Not as bad, but we're gonna see mediocre football play. Unfortunately, I don't know why. I just feel that way.
My vibe is going to be phenomenal because we're going to put that shit on the team that put that shit on y'all
Do your job
on Sunday. But No, I think the vibes. I think what we're going to see on Sunday is going to be very, very demoralizing. Like I don't really see a world in which the Chargers don't just come in here and absolutely like bulldoze the Panthers. Like
Mm.
I was looking like I really was looking at the film today, like trying to find some weakness that I thought could be like taken advantage of. But truthfully, like what I said all last season, when I sounded like a broken record saying like the game is won and lost in the trenches, it looked like to me on tape, the Chargers are going to dominate in the trenches on both sides of the ball. And that is like, it's going to be a game where they're just going to, I mean, road grader, hello, like they're going to take the air out of the building. It's going to be nasty. And Dave Tepper is going to have another segment on the Pat McAfee show because he's going to try to throw a drink on somebody on Sunday.
He better hope I don't throw a drink at him. I'm not gonna lie. I was contemplating and trying to figure out what would happen should the Carolina Panthers come out and look similar to the way they looked on Sunday against the Saints. I'm not gonna lie to you. It might be best that Terrence, you should probably stay away from me because there's a possibility that I might walk out of there in handcuffs. Because I think I want to go shit on the field. I think I might want to go streak and go stretch something and go show them this is how you stretch something.
Well, if you walk out of there in handcuffs, just know I'm coming back to my city. You find your way back from Charlotte.
No, come get me. That's why I'm going to do it while you're there, so you can come get me, duh.
Yeah, but sometimes, when you get arrested on the weekends, they make you stay.
I'm about to say, you're going to have to wait till Monday to get your hearing, pimp. Yeah. If you get arrested on a Sunday, the magistrate ain't open.
Just ask Tavian. And unfortunately, I have a big day at work Monday. So, yeah, if you make your decisions wisely. I'm going to be sitting back, drinking my water, eating my my pretzel. I'm going to be chilling.
I don't know why he would ask me. I don't know nothing about that, aside from the fact that I went to school to study it.
Oh, so you ain't – okay, cool.
Cool. Anyways, moving on. I have a couple of keys of victory for the Carolina Panthers. Then we'll go to trivia with Colin, and then we'll get our score predictions to wrap things up. We'll go defense, and then we'll go offense. Defensively, we have to get our hands up. A couple of times against the Raiders, I noticed that Justin Herbert had a read, and it was a good read initially, but just based off the pressure and the interior D linemen getting their hands up, Justin Herbert would tuck, pump fake, and then tuck and just take a sack. I feel like we will be in a good position if we get our hands up and execute on that front. Being physical on the perimeter. What I noticed too when I watched that film, them receivers on the outside do not want to be touched. So J.C. Horn and Mike Jackson, if you just so happen to potentially click on the G2S network and watch this video before Sunday afternoon, get in a shit. Get your hands on these guys. Make them beat you off the line. We know what J.C. Horn is. We know what we believe J.C. Horn, his ranking is within the NFL when he is healthy. So there's no question in my mind that J.C. Horn and Mike Jackson, too, with the performance that I saw from him Sunday, there's no question in my mind that we can dominate on the outside, on the perimeter, if we get physical. So that's going to be a key, and that's going to be a key really not just for the secondary, but honestly for the whole team. A lot of pre-snap penalties for the Chargers. I think that Harbaugh will clean that up. Like Colin mentioned earlier, there were 4 or 5 pre-snap penalties in the first half alone. I think that's an issue that would be cleaned up, just something that stuck out to me while I was watching the film. Offensively, we must take our time. Terrence mentioned it earlier, bro. When we go off script as early as we did against the New Orleans Saints, when we have the first play of a season or of a drive be an interception, it's just not going to be good, bro. So if we just stay consistent in the run game, continue to pound the football, is going to be key as well. It's going to be very, very important that we take what the defense gives us. Something that I noticed with the Chargers from film standpoint was that they leave them underneath routes and them flats wide open. So listen, if we got to get 3 or 4, maybe even 5 yards a play from a passing standpoint, take it. Let's get things going early. Stay consistent with the run game. dink and doink underneath, and then potentially something will open up later on in the second half where we can call a couple of shot plays and make something happen there. Let me see. Big day for the O-line. I feel like we've spent about 15 or 20 minutes on that. The offensive line will be challenged, bro. The offensive line for the Carolina Panthers will be challenged. We know the story with them. We know the shit second season that Ikem Ekwonu had last year. We understand the consistency that we've gotten from Taylor Moton, $150 million to either side of the center. And then Austin Corbett obviously still trying to get his feet wet at the center position, with this being only his second game. Offensive line is going to be challenged. They're going to be challenged this week, and I just hope that we're ready for the occasion, because it's going to be a dogfight, bro. Nothing about this game tells me that it won't be a dogfight. Like, honestly, they want to come out and they want to pound the football. We want to do the same thing, according to Dave Canales. And like Tavian has mentioned 150 times on the podcast, the battle specifically with a game like that is won in the trenches for sure. And then something else that stuck out to me is that their secondary does a phenomenal job with their communication. Literally every snap, pre-snap, all secondary participants are on the same page from a communication standpoint. That was something that I talked to Terrence about when we watched the film for the Carolina Panthers when they played against the Saints. And it was the fact that, like, J.C. Horn, like, when he came out of the huddle, it just seemed like he was confused. But I think really, like, as I watched the Chargers do it, it may have just been like him just trying to be on top of everybody knowing what the fuck they're doing, which is something that we didn't see on that third play, fourth play, whatever it was of the game when we got bombed by Raheem Shaheed over top. So the Chargers do a phenomenal job at that. I just want to see Bryce Young protect the football. Don't make any dumbass mistakes. I need to see his confidence slowly begin to come back, because when I watched that presser, and I got slandered for this on X. I got slandered for this on X. When I watched that press conference of Bryce Young the other day, I don't think I've ever seen a nigga be as timid, as scared, as fidgety. I mean, he touching his body like he a dope fiend. No cap. I need to see that shit clear up, man. I'm not gonna lie. If y'all want me to have confidence in Bryce, if Bryce is who y'all say he is,
and who you said he was,
he got to show me.
And who you said he was.
Bryce having them troubles. His home ain't in order right now. Bryce, get your home in order so you can produce on the field.
Can we not say that, bro? Can we not say that, because we don't know if that's true or not?
What are we talking about? What are we talking about?
That's just allegedly. Allegedly, Bryce's home is not in order.
Something with his girl?
I'm not. I'm just saying. The reports that I saw from my sources told me that his home ain't in order. Get your home in order so you can produce on Sunday.
I feel like I already know who that came from. Okay, cool. I think that
Who did it come from?
If Tavian said his sources, and if I just got to think about who's in Charlotte,
don't say a name.
Yeah, I know.
It's A-okay. But what, to add context to what Tavian is saying, allegedly, we don't know if this is true or not. We do not know if this is true or not.
Just say it, bro. Okay.
Relax. I have to preface, bro, because I don't like getting in personal business. But part of the lack of confidence that we could be seeing from Bryce Young is because allegedly there's somebody that follows Bryce Young's girlfriend on Instagram, and allegedly they have access to her Finsta as well. And allegedly, all of the pictures that contain Bryce Young on said Finsta have allegedly been removed off of that Finsta page. Now, you take that information and you do what you want with it, but it would kind of make sense. And don't slaughter me, don't slander me. I'm not saying that's a fact. I'm just saying allegedly. Terrence, proceed.
Okay. For me, I feel like that should just turn him into a dog. But everybody is built a little different. So I get it if he scribbles up behind that. But I think you were pretty long-winded on the keys to victory. I think it's pretty simple. Stop the run game, force them to pass the ball. I think Bloody said something that I was thinking. They're outside receivers. They don't scare me. If you play effectively up front, you stop the run game, then I think that we'll we'll have success. And then the other thing, limit the turnovers. If you don't turn the ball over during the game, you have a very good chance of staying in the game and potentially winning the football game. Protect the football. I mean, it's just that simple. That way you can run the offense. I think that's something that all Panthers fans should be happy about going into this week, is knowing that we didn't see our full offensive playbook last week because we didn't have the opportunity to. So I think that that's something that everybody should be on the high about.
Cool. Brian Stowe, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, asked, would you have drafted Joe Alt at number 5 overall? If I'm in the Carolina Panthers situation, no, because we needed a wide receiver desperately, and we needed an edge, and still do need an edge desperately. So I think that my answer would be no. I wouldn't have gone him at number 5, just because I believe there would have been better weapons, or you could have even taken an approach of like trading back to get a receiver that was potentially on your radar, or an edge rusher, or even a cornerback, because then we wouldn't have seen a whole overload and a whole room change a week and a half before the season if you would have addressed that in the draft, which I know y'all have been on my top about that as well. I seen the comment under the YouTube video and said, JJ, I gotta hold you accountable and I gotta hold you to the fire because you defended that Jonathan Brooks pick and have up until last week. And
so where y'all gonna give me my credit at? Where y'all fuck niggas gonna give me my credit?
and mine. And mine.
Everything that y'all be like, I gotta hold him to the fire about, oh, he did this, he did that. I've been sitting right beside him telling him he sounds dumb as hell. Y'all continue to die on that hill with him. Cool. Don't listen to me. That's fine.
I was about to say, I felt like a broken record spinning because you asked if he should have drafted Joe Alt. I've been saying they should have drafted an offensive lineman and drafted a cornerback with their first 2 picks all offseason.
Well, I mean,
that's all I said.
Our O-line looks solid. Our O-line looks fine. So, I mean, we would have been up shit's creek. Well, but then again, I don't know. Icky might. We gonna see if Joey plays this week and Khalil plays this week. We gonna see if we look fine or not. Because Icky is gonna be tested, and if he can't get the job done against Chase Young, I mean, shit, we may be fried. I'm not gonna hold you. So, Bryce, keep your head on a swivel. That doesn't mean get antsy, but just be aware. Just be aware. Why do y'all want credit so bad for me being wrong?
Because you just spew bullshit all over, and then you have the blind leading the blind. Like, this fan base is so fucking gullible, bro. They're so gullible.
Colin, you ready for your trivia, bro?
Yes, sir. Let's do it.
Okay, cool. How many questions do you want? Because I have a list here of like 100.
Oh, no, man. Not 100.
24. How many would you like? 5?
Let's start out with 4. Let's do 4.
Okay, bet. Where did the Chargers play their first season?
In Los Angeles.
Okay, good. Let me see. This is going to be a confusing one, but not really.
Okay.
Which of the following Chargers has the highest career passer rating? Is it Phillip Rivers, Drew Brees, Chuck Muncie, or Don Fouts? I hope I pronounced his last name right. If I didn't, just correct me.
I'm going to go.
This is a trick question.
I'm going to go Drew Brees since you said trick question.
Okay. It was Chuck Muncie.
Okay.
But that also was an unfair one because he was a running back, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I was gonna say when you said Chuck Muncie, I'm like,
yeah. But he completed 3 or 4 passes. I didn't know that until I read the answer. So I didn't mean to. Chill, Terrence. Damn, bro.
That's actually I'm gonna use that one. That's a great little. Yeah, that's a great little Easter egg.
I'll be hot as fuck. That question.
Yeah. I was thinking Drew Brees because.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking that same. Maybe he was only there for a couple of years, but
because I thought it was like career, like their career passer rating. I was like, I'm pretty sure Drew Brees has a higher career passer rating than Phillip Rivers.
Yeah, I would probably say so as well. Although Rivers, man, people of our generation, or at least the kids, this next generation, they're gonna sleep on Rivers, man. He was a
Yeah,
bad man.
Yeah, he had
No,
that
for sure. He just came up at a time that Brady and Peyton and
and
Big Ben and
Fact.
Eli and A-Rod. I mean, there was just so much. There was too much to compete with. Drew Brees.
Yeah, it was a crazy. What a time to grow up, though, man. All those quarterbacks slinging it.
For sure. And just to add more context to that, Muncie completed 3 or 4 passes in his career, and they all went for touchdowns. 156.2 career passer rating. So,
That's
yeah.
Absolute tight.
I know LT's got a few touchdown passes in there.
Yes, he sure does. What undrafted free agent did the Chargers sign in 2003? Was it Junior Seau,
Oh, I
Philip
already know
Rivers,
this. Come on now.
Antonio Gates, or Drew Brees?
Antonio Gates
There we go.
should be in the
Cool.
Hall of Fame right now, but that's another conversation for another day.
I totally agree. Let me see. I gotta get a good one. I gotta get a good one. Okay, here we go. What nickname was given to the Chargers defensive line in the 70s and 80s? Was it Over the Hill Gang? Was it Fearsome Foursome? Was it Sack Pack, or was it Bruise Brothers?
I do not know the answer to this one, but I'm gonna guess the best I can. I'm gonna say. Can you say the names one more time?
Sure. Over the Hill Gang, Fearsome Foursome, Sack Pack, or Bruise Brothers?
I'm gonna go Sack Pack. I just think that sounds coolest.
I would have agreed, but Bruise Brothers was the correct answer.
Okay. I like that one too. No, that one I did not
As
know.
long as it wasn't the fearsome foursome.
Yeah,
There's some hard nicknames in there, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
Right. All right, here we go. Last one, and I'll take you off the hot seat. How many receptions did Hall of Fame wide receiver Lance Allworth have his rookie season? 80, 40, 10, or 20?
Man, talking about the GOAT here.
Rookie year.
Rookie year.
Rookie year.
Rookie year. I'm gonna say, I'm gonna say 80. Dude was a baller.
10.
10? Oh my god.
10.
I know something.
Damn, you got me. I was thinking
season,
bro, that
Allworth
was if any of you guys aren't familiar with Lance Allworth, I highly recommend just go watch 30 seconds of his highlights on YouTube. Dude was a modern Wes Welker / Cooper Kupp back in like the 60s. It's so much fun to watch. If you go watch the tape, just small white 5'10" guy in the slot, just burning dudes,
just going crazy,
just destroying ankles. It's a fun watch, but yeah, Lance Allworth.
Only 10 receptions his rookie year, so there's hope for X after all.
Yeah, that's right.
Allworth had just 10 receptions in 4 games. 3 of those went for touchdowns. In his second year, he set franchise records in receptions, 61 yards over 1,200, 1,205, and in touchdowns with 11. And he won MVP of the AFL his second year in the league. So you weren't too far off.
That's crazy. Yeah, man.
For
good
sure.
Old Bandy.
Thanks for playing. Thanks for playing.
Those are good, man. Those are good.
Yeah, bro, for sure. And we definitely appreciate you hopping on and joining us. If you guys are still watching live, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn the bell notification on. Again, if you're watching on X, make sure to hit that follow button. Turn the bell notification on there as well. Me and Terrence will be in the building in BOA Sunday at 1 p.m. So, yeah, say what's up. Say what's up if you see us. Score predictions. We'll wrap up here. I'm going to say for me personally, they're going to kill me for this. I'm going to say 25-13 Chargers. 25-13 Chargers.
It's an ugly score.
Mine gonna be worse.
I'm just talking about the 25.
Go ahead. Give me your worst.
Minus 31-10 Chargers.
Damn.
Yeah,
Go
yeah.
ahead, Taylor.
Yeah, I'm going 27-6 Chargers.
I mean, what the fuck is you doing all that for?
Yeah,
Like,
facts.
yours was better.
And Colin, what do you have for us?
I'm gonna go final score. I'm gonna go 24-12 Bolts.
Cool. I'm not mad at it. I am a little disappointed that all of us picked the Chargers to win from FPFO. I'm very disappointed about that. That makes me damn near want to change my prediction.
I mean, what has this team done to give us the belief that they can win this game?
Yeah.
Nothing,
Or even
unfortunately.
be competitive in the game, honestly.
But I did say, if you guys remember, I did say the Carolina Panthers would either go 3-0 or 2-1 to start their year, and the Falcons would go 0-3. We got the one out of the way already. That's all I'll say. That's all I'll say.
So pick them. Change your score and pick them. Change your score and pick them.
That's all I'll say. I'm just gonna add that context because I don't need anybody on my top. I said actually change that 14 out for 17. 33. He said Bloody said 33-17 Chargers. So as you can see, Colin, the energy, the morale within the Carolina Panthers fan base is extremely down. It is so difficult to create content about a bullshit organization. I'm not gonna lie.
Hey,
I'm not gonna lie.
I'll say this. Me and my co-host Miles, we felt the exact same way last year. The season got off to the start it did. Staley was on the hot seat pretty much all year. We were calling for his head from the preseason. And, the beautiful thing about this sport is just when you think things can't get any worse, there's a silver lining that shows up. And for us, it was a coach that we, had badly needed for a long time. And you never know, Bryce Young maybe not be the solution there, but you never know what that could open up down the road. I mean, we're talking about a deep quarterback class next year. You just never know, man. You never know. That's the beautiful thing about this sport.
Arch Manning to the Carolina Panthers is what I heard. We're going to go ahead and start the train now. Arch Manning to the Panthers. Let's go ahead. Tank for Arch.
Cam
Ewers, Cam
Tank
Ward.
for Arch.
Cam
Ward.
Ward. Hey, man, Cam Ward walk into the bank and turn that shit up, nigga.
Yes. I can get down with that for sure.
No, put your watch down. No. I don't need that crying shit, bro. I don't need that crying, and I don't need you throwing your teammates under the bus, bro. I don't need that in the locker room.
Like I said, man, we're starting the Arch Manning to Carolina campaign. You heard it here first. I told JJ I was going to drop it for y'all. Arch Manning to Carolina. Stamp it.
I like Arch.
I might rather have Ewers than Arch.
Ewers
would be
a
turned
dog.
up too. Yeah,
Ewers
and
a
I
dog.
might want to talk about Nico. Well, I mean, the list can go on and on.
I mean, hey, I'll settle for Nico too now. I like
Nico. Be turned up
I like Nico.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
I also liked AR and CJ better than Bryce, but that's just neither here nor there. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. If at least there's one team in North Carolina that is undefeated right now, and that's the Pirates. Purple Haze, baby.
Roll
About to
Pirates,
take on
man.
App State tomorrow, man.
Roll
Pirates.
What's happening?
Y'all got something to look forward to, at least in North Carolina. We got y'all. Purple and gold, baby. We got y'all.
Colin, thank you so much for joining us, bro.
Yeah.
Hey, thank you guys so much for having me on. This was fun. And Chargers Bolts again in the future. We'll have to do this again.
Yeah,
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. We appreciate you.
All right. Peace, boys.
Peace. If you guys haven't already, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn that bell notification on. We appreciate you all tuning in. We will be back on Tuesday morning at 9 a.m. for our official Week 2 review. Chargers versus Panthers in Bank of America Stadium. We will be in the building. If you see us, say what's up. And yeah, Roll Pirates. We're in the building tomorrow. App State versus ECU. We're going to be in the parking lot. I don't know. I might leave them in the parking lot. I'm trying to determine if I want to go in the game or not. I'm trying to figure it out. I don't know. Who knows? But yeah, y'all got anything?
We didn't need all of that. We really didn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
You
Peace,
say-
peace, love, and prosperity. Shout out to my
After he
burner
just said,
account.
"Fuck me."
Go
Bro,
Pirates.
peace, love, and prosperity. Cool. That's what he
I
just
didn't
said.
say it. He said it.
Appreciate y'all tuning in, man. We will be back on Tuesday again. We'll talk very soon. Peace.